Hey everyone, I've talked about Cenat before in the past, but to be honest, I've never really watched his streams before, or nor do I really know a lot about him. For example, I always knew he was pretty big in streaming, but I never really did know the full scope of how big his fanbase was. However, recently, his fame and scale was shown when Cenat planned a tiny little fan meetup in Union Square in New York, and it turned to a massive mob, which wasn't a planned event. He simply tweeted on that same day that he wanted to meet some fans and give out some free stuff. One of these free stuff included the PS5, which is a pretty good incentive for people to turn up, even if they don't even watch him. It's kind of like a lottery where they believe they actually have a winning chance and they want it, but then when they show up, there's so many people that there's a near zero chance of them actually getting the PS5. But I'm not sure he even did have a PS5, simply because of how many people gathered around there at the time he showed up. I don't know how many people turned up because it's not like tickets were sold, but I would say just from the videos you can see online, it looks like hundreds of fans, maybe even thousands. It's kind of like when you look at a number, you can't really comprehend how big it is until you're there in person witnessing it. You can even see that same kind of feeling in Kai's face when he turns up at the park and steps out the van, where he realizes the mob has spilled out the park and it's covering the entire Union Square area.
Where the park at? Right here. Oh shit, fuck. Oh, we out now. Okay, out to the middle. Y'all in front. Oh, fuck.
Yo, I can't have nobody bumping into my book bag this time, because we see it straight to free.
You think it's splitting up? They split up. I know. I'm next to him.
Yo, I cannot go out there with the book bag.
Even his security guards were clearly wary and they knew this could be a problem. I'm actually surprised he had guards with him because he probably expected this to be a small fan meetup. But they were probably with him before during his trip in New York, just the general safety. But thankfully they were with him because I feel with Kai being the center of everyone's attention and the fact he's not really the tallest, he would have probably gotten help with everyone flocking around him. It made me realize the problem with this event where people really underestimate how many people would actually show up. This was probably the first time that Kai has done this kind of gathering, so it was more a spur of the moment where we just tweeted out and he just wanted to meet some fans. At the very least, he did give a late notice, where he just tweeted on that same day on the 4th of August that he would show up there. If he brought it up a bit sooner, a day or two, the amount of people that showed up might have been double. Because there are definitely fans who are willing to travel across states just to see him, even if all they get is just being stuck in part of a crowd. But even New York is a pretty unfortunate place to pick to have a fan meetup, because there were people who drove to Manhattan just to see him, which is where Union Square is. If there's one saving grace from the fact that he picked Union Square, is that the streets were pretty big, but people weren't really tightly packed together, because if they were, some people would get trampled over. If Kai hosted this at a building, it would definitely be worse, but at least people had room to spread out and walk around. But on the other hand, there's also led to the roads being completely crowded and blocked, which made it impossible for Kai to drive out with his friends. In the footage they got from the helicopter above the crowd, it just looked like they want to pull him out the car and rip him apart. And you can see him try to get on top of the car and Kai's friend push him away. It took them an incredibly long time to slowly wait for the crowd and drive away, with his friends hanging on the back of the sides of the car, with even one guy falling off. My only guess on why they could only stay outside the car was because they were scared to open the door in case fans went in, and they probably didn't have that much room. Even if they were to slow down a bit, that would be pretty bad, because his fans are relentless, with some people chasing him down in mopeds. To be honest, this entire time his fans looked completely batshit crazy, even breaking out of shit there. By far the most common videos people took there were other people breaking parked cars, and there was no justification on why. They simply just jumped up the cars and fuck up the sunroof, even breaking the windshield. This was just people's parked car that were just unfortunately parked there, and only in a matter of days were just completely ruined, simply because the fans wanted to. This is kind of stuff you'd see at a political riot, where people upset about the government or something actually important. But no, it's just a dumb fan meetup, and people just did it because they wanted to, and they knew the area was too crowded for the police to come and do something. Which makes me feel really bad for the people who live in that area, because they probably already hate the chaotic nature of New York, and to have this added on top of that must be hell to experience. as well as the fans being insane. When the police arrived, it just made the situation like even crazier. In this kind of situation, there never really is like a controlled police interaction because they did try to like make some arrests. But because so many people were running around, it got pretty dangerous. With this one clip that really shocked me, where a guy was getting arrested by the police and they pushed his head like against like the back of a windshield of a van, hard enough to break it and like cut him. It's horrible to see him bleed, and it's very hard to get like some context or like why he was targeted. But from like what I could see from the video, I'm guessing like he was attacking like the orange van in front of him, which is why like prompted the police to like arrest him. But even then, it shouldn't have been like that violent. And on that day, there were 65 people arrested there, with even Kai being taken to custody. It wasn't an arrest, like some people are saying, because they wanted to like offer some safety for like the crowds of people, but also like press charges against him for like kickstarting this whole chaos. Once the crowd got smaller and people like dispersed, an officer from like the actual NYPD came to like address the situation and to like talk to the press, where he brought up that Kai might be charged for causing a riot. And I'm not 100% sure on this, but people have said like this was like unlawful gathering because they didn't have a permit or like any official planning.
If there is any kind of action that might be taken or could be taken against the influencer.
Absolutely. We're in contact with the influencer. I have our legal team here. I'm going to have a discussion with our Commissioner Caban in a little bit, and then we'll make a decision there.
Well, I'm wondering though, if there's anything specific that you could be charging him with?
Well, we'll discuss with our legal department about inciting a riot and other charges.
But to be honest, these charges are going to be pretty hard for Kai to handle because like how much damage like the mob incited. The best outcome I could see for him is that he defends himself by saying like he wasn't expecting for it to be this big or get this chaotic, which might lessen the charge, but I doubt it's going to get him scot-free. However, I don't want to say this now. Even though it seemed like this is completely like Kai's fault, I truly believe he wanted this to go well and he regretted like what it became. At no point like during his stream or like from the news footage does he ever look happy from like how unruly the crowd is or like the chaos they're creating. I'm sure he was hoping for this to like end as soon as possible and even took the responsibility to help some people in the crowd. Like when he helped carry a kid on his back throughout the crowd. Children specifically are in a lot of danger when it comes to like being around crowds, so I'm glad at least Kai like picked him up to like prevent him from being on the ground. And another time, where he even went to like help a fan who was like struggling to breathe, possibly caused by like a panic attack she had from like the huge influx of people showing up.
Does she take medication? I don't know her. She take medication? Hold on, breathe. I know.
I just wanted to see you. I just wanted to be here. I can't breathe.
Look, breathe. Look at me. Look.
Okay. She was so good. She was with us the whole time.
You have asthma?
Even if he's not like a medical professional for like this kind of situations, he at least tries to like help her and like calm her down. You can hear the panic in his voice, so I do legitimately believe like he cared for his fans. Where other people online are just saying like he did this to look good and recover from like the disaster he caused. But Kai did take responsibility to at least try and help. Where like I know a lot of the streamers that wouldn't even like put a fraction of concern that he had for his like fans' well-being. And it's not just him trying to fix the situation, with even like the official AMP Instagram account issuing out an apology like as soon as possible when this happened. They even went back and deleted Kai's tweets about like the fan meetup, so it is evident that they regret what happened that day. Personally, I just think it was unfortunate that it turned out like this, especially like at first it was meant to be like nice and fun with him like handing out free stuff. But I still hope like something like this doesn't happen again in the future, or the very least is planned to like prevent any chaos. I don't think Kai's gonna have any more like last minute like fan meetups or tweet about this stuff like just like randomly and quickly, just to prevent like another chaotic event like this happening again in the future. But that's all I really have to say. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time. Bye.